Yes.
Jamie, I'm in.
We're gonna film the driveway.
Good.
I don't have the video on.
Oh, yeah. Mike, you want to reread it real fast?
All right, guys, thanks for jumping on here. I really have no idea how many people are actually going to join. It's 6:31 right now. So in the name of, respecting everyone's time, I'm gonna plow through this. It's being recorded. So if someone did need the information, we can certainly share it out to the email list after. But again, thank you for joining us. I don't believe that this meeting will take very long. The reason for this meeting was simply I've had a lot of feedback lately, a lot of conversations, a lot of emails, a lot of lobby banter, and the questions all seem to be pretty uniform and similar about the 10U program here, the A team here at Cool Sports, run by KAHA, the Junior Ice Bears. So I thought that it would just be beneficial to get it all in one spot here, and if people have questions, I've stayed pretty neutral throughout the summer. I haven't really imposed my opinions on anybody or forced my way into any conversations or narratives. So I plan to stay that way. The purpose of this call is just to share information, and you folks, you 10U families, can do what you want with it, and make sure that you guys just know what we're doing and know where we're coming from. So without further ado, we'll go ahead here and move forward. The staff of the 10U A team, head coach Josh Alice. Everybody is pretty familiar with Josh, coached our A team last year. Welcome, Rob. Actually was our KAHA coach of the year last year. Might select, House League, Squirt A, predecessor, Little Preds. Josh is really experienced with this age group, so we're incredibly happy to have him involved. And skill development coordinated by Jamie Ronayne, who's the head coach of our 10U double A team. The double A team and the single A team will practice together literally every single practice. They will be together unless there's some kind of game conflict, which I don't foresee happening. I think Jamie's resume speaks for itself. He was the head coach of our Squirt double A team last year that won the SYTHL along with 4 other tournaments. Jamie's background is, I don't really even need to get into it. It's long and it's extensive back from his days in Michigan through his professional playing career, his professional coaching career, and now he's our ACE coordinator with KAHA. So a wealth of knowledge and just an incredible team builder. So he'll be on the ice for every practice, coordinating with Josh, coordinating the practice plans and running those practices. So we're in great hands. Our schedule, and if anybody has any questions, just save them to the end. This really won't take long, I promise. We'll get to the question portion very soon. Our schedule, as I said, our shared ice with Squirt double A, all of our practices, beginning on August 16th and running through the end of September. Our dedicated practice slots for the fall are Monday evenings at 6:50 and Friday evenings at 5:40, similar to what we did last year with the shared ice model. A little extra ice time with that shared ice model on Friday nights, which is good. Once we flip to the winter schedule in October through the end of February, the slot changes to Wednesday evenings and remains on Friday evenings. We will have monthly skill sessions downtown once the ice goes in October. So once every 4 weeks, you'll have an additional ice session. And we can kind of finagle that a little bit based on the bulk of schedule, as it's noted there. If you've got a heavy tournament weekend prior to, we can switch around that skill session. So it ends up being 4 or 5 extra touches, all skill based. Schedule continued. 5 league weekends in the plans, and the tournaments listed here below. Huntsville, Alabama, August 14th is our Squirt leveling tournament. One thing that the SYTHL does, which I think is really smart. The biggest challenge, I think, for scheduling Squirt 10U games is finding the right opponent. And it's hard to base your schedule around tournaments only and friendlies only, because it's tough to find those good matchups. And if you get into a friendly weekend where you're driving over to Atlanta or you're driving up to Indianapolis to play one 10U team 3 or 4 times, and you find out 3 minutes into warm up that team is either way below your level or way above your level, it makes for a pretty long weekend. And we're very familiar with with that scenario, and there's really no good way. 10UA versus 10UA, sometimes they don't match up. So that's why the sport leveling tournament in Huntsville is incredibly important for us. So we see where we stack up across the region. And then listed below the rest of the tournaments that we've got planned. Oxford, Ohio for Big Bear in September, Charlotte, North Carolina, My Hockey in October, a couple in January, one in Nashville, one here at home. Did I make a mistake? You opened your eyes at me. I've got Rob sitting over here judging me in the corner. Rob Link. Then obviously we got a local tournament in Knoxville, the Scruffy City, and finishing off where all of our teams will be in Charleston, South Carolina for the My Hockey event, February 19th. So tournaments laid out, all dates, no question marks there. Those are the ones we're going to, and we can plan schedules accordingly. Next slide. Again, a quick one. Our model is the ADM, American Development Model, Hockey for Life. I'm a big proponent of it, that it has to be hockey for life, not just hockey for right now. You have to look at the long-term picture here, long-term athlete development. Our practices and our seasons are based on this model, skill-centered practices, developing a love for the game and the process along with skills, and using the USA Hockey research and development guidelines. 20 years ago, guys, USA Hockey was not even on the map, save for the Miracle on Ice at the Olympics and Herb Brooks. It was not on the map. Based on population and volume, USA Hockey was in a bad spot. So 20 years ago, the ADM came along, and USA Hockey spent a whole lot of money, a lot of research, a lot of development, sports scientists, youth professionals, and they came up with the ADM. People who know a whole lot more about youth hockey, know a whole lot more about youth players and youth athletes came up with this ADM, and we follow it. It's our baseline, it's our guideline for the season, and that's how we run our practices, and that's how we make changes along the way based on how our group's doing, but the ADM is the foundation of our development. Our budget, based on a roster size of 13, hard cost for this season is about $2,300 per family. Payments are monthly. You'll run through payments throughout the season, finishing in February. Additional costs like travel and food and uniforms, those are not built into that $2,300. Those will be additional things like meals on the road, hotels on the road. The nice thing about playing in the SYTHL and having your tournaments lined up based on where your schedule falls is that the league weekend model in the SYTHL really works. You spend one night on hotels. It's a same day up Saturday. SYTHL guidelines do not allow a game to start before 12 p.m. So you have a same day travel every Saturday to get to that first game. You stay in a hotel Saturday night, you play a couple more games Sunday. So you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's one hotel night. It's 4 to 5 league weekends. Some tournaments, you could toss in 3 hotel nights in one tournament. It's tough sometimes. So if you're basing your whole season on tournaments, and you're going to go to 6 or 7 tournaments, and you want to times that by 2 or 3 with hotel rooms per tournament, and you're going to St. Louis or you're going to Atlanta or Chicago, where some of these room nights can be in upwards of $175 to $200 a night, it gets pretty costly. So the league weekend model is very friendly for budget. We really appreciate the way the SYTHL runs that. And that's another reason that we choose to be involved with the SYTHL with our travel teams. We are having a tryout on 8/10 in the evening. It's a Tuesday night, just to give everyone a chance to kind of recircle and come back and show interest. We've got some additional families who have moved in from out of town who have shown interest, some additional families who did not try it for travel back in June for whatever reason, and now realize there's an opportunity on the A team who are going to be trying out. So we're going to run those tryouts on 8/10, and then we'll roll right into the sport leveling tournament that weekend after to see where we stack up. I should say that you guys don't owe me anything. I don't need explanations from you guys. I'm not going to get into, again, the push pull. I'm not going to recruit 10-year-old hockey players. I'm not going to do it. I'm just trying to lay out the information. So I don't need an explanation from you guys if you won't be at tryouts. But if you did sign up and you put your name on the list to be there on August 10th and you're not coming, just as a courtesy, I think I've been pretty open with you guys, and our staff's been pretty open with you guys as a group over the years. So as a courtesy to us, just let us know that if you're not coming, so we can take you off the list and see where we are for numbers. And again, just communication will be great. No hard feelings. I am not barring the doors and chaining the handles to anybody. I want to know for planning purposes, because there are other people in this organization that are depending on us for a quality schedule. That brings me to the questions portion. if anyone has anything they'd like to ask right now, go ahead. While the questions are rolling through your minds, I am going to flip it over to Jamie and or Josh if you guys had anything to add. We're at about how many minutes here? Yeah, we're just over 10 minutes since we started, so we got a few minutes to hobnob a little bit. So James, Josh, did I miss anything?
I'll just chime in here, Mike. I don't think you missed anything. I'll just speak to, being involved in the youth hockey up through the U8 model and the U10 model. I do believe in the ADM model and also what we've done in the SYTHL. We've seen kids develop from being on both the AA and the A team based on the youth practices. And I truly believe in it. It works. And at the end of the day, we're, like you said, it's hockey for life. And it's trying to get the kids to enjoy hockey. At the end of the day, this is fun, and they're going to get out of it what they put into it. But at a young age, I mean, we're talking about 8, 9, barely 10-year-olds. Our motto speaks for itself: work hard, have fun, be a good teammate. Those are life skills. And we've seen the development work over the last year, not just last year, over the last, probably 6 years I've been involved. So that's all I have to chime in. If Josh, if Alice, you want to chime in here or anything.
No, I think both of you guys covered most everything, and like you said, the proof is all the kids that have been through the organization and who have had success and who have continued to play. So I mean, it's you can't say that this doesn't work when there's had been so many success stories already with this development model that we use.
Thank you, Josh, and thanks, James. So there you have it, folks. If there's any question, speak now, and if not, you got your budget, you got some dates, you've got a good outline of cost additional to the budget with travel and what we're doing, and so hopefully that's the information you guys need to move forward with whatever you decide to do with your kids. And again, I'm happy to have conversations and continue to answer questions should you need it, but hopefully this puts it all in one place, and I'll share this video with the email list. And everyone enjoy your evening, and I'm probably going to see you on the ice in like 10 minutes. So I'll talk to everyone later, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Are there any questions or anything? Should we open it up?
Susie?
Anybody? Nothing.
Am I still on mute?
You're not anymore. Go
No,
ahead.
I can hear you.
Are the practices that we practice with the AA team, is that like a full ice practice? I know a lot of the practices last year, it was full ice, but like we had half the ice and then somebody else had the other half of the ice. So you were still just doing a half ice.
So I'll jump in here. So per the ADM model, because they are joined, right? We have technically 2 teams on the ice. What we do is we run a station-based training session. What we found works best is, the first probably 10, 15 minutes, we focus on skating. Everybody skates together, all the lines as one. Not only just the U8, U10, U12 models, but even at the NHL level, there's a huge focus on small area games and skills. So for that reason, we do break it up into a station-based training. We'll have blue line in on one end, which we'll typically do some small area, high skill, quick feet, shooting, passing drills. In the middle, whether it's an obstacle course or 3-man passing, keep away, that's usually in the middle. At the other end, we do some type of system, whether it's a D zone or a cycling drill, where you get more into the systems of it. So we try to merge the kids together, keep them with somewhat level or even skilled kids. So there's not a kid way up here and there's a kid way down here who's not touching the puck. You have to create an environment where these kids are touching the puck and they're involved, right? So along the same lines of like, oh, I want to play double A hockey. If you play double A hockey, sometimes there's kids that if they play double A, they're not going to touch the puck, right? I would rather, and it's what we implemented 4 years ago with the MITE program, right? We did it by birth year. We had 4 or 5 kids, and I'm talking from personal experience with my kid. Could they have played on the top U8 team? Sure. But would it have been good for their development to not touch the puck and not be a quote unquote stud? I don't think so. I've seen my son develop over the years. I'd rather him be involved, be in a situation with kids that are at his level or even below his level, where they can be the guy, and they can be active and make a difference. Confidence is huge. There's been a big push to have kids, oh, I want to play double A, triple A. And they get there and they're the last person on the roster, and they don't develop because they're kind of I don't want to say odd man out, but they're not an integral part. We're talking about 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. Like, they have to enjoy it. And is that fun to not be involved? I don't think so. And I've seen my kid develop from the U8, where he was on the lower team in U8, and then he moved up, and then, U10, he made a jump to double A, and he frankly struggled for the first half of the year. He was able to pick it up. I'm a proud dad, and I might be a little biased because I think he's fairly skilled. But if he were left behind on U8 to not be involved, would he have progressed? I don't know the answer to that. I don't believe so. I do a lot of talking to friends that have coach in the NHL, coach at high levels, where at this young age, you want them to be part of something, and you want them to enjoy it. Is it enjoyable to not touch the puck? I don't think so. That's just me. And again, going back to our model, work hard, have fun, be a good teammate. Those are big skills. And I know I've rambled on your question.
That was a good ramble, though, James. I like that ramble.
But the model that we have with our practices, Josh Ackright, who he's no longer with us. It sounds like he passed away, which he didn't. He's just moved because of business. I know there's rumors he's moved on for higher hopes of hockey. I assure you that's not the case. But we've put a lot of thought into our practices over the years to try to get these kids to develop and be active participants, because it's more enjoyable. And without naming names, I have the worst part of the year is tryouts and cuts, and there's good friends that don't make certain teams. And I've had some hard conversations with some families that didn't make the double A team last year, and smart people. And they, hindsight being what it is maybe easier because they're through it, realize that was the best decision and best thing for their kids' development, to play at a level where they were active participants. And now on the double A team, I don't want to say they've leapfrogged anybody, but they've certainly taken a huge step in the right direction, and they enjoyed it. Everybody likes to be, the person that scores goals, and that's our goal, is to develop these kids. It's not about being the best 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. It's about creating an environment where these kids enjoy it and they continue to improve. I can't tell you the best 8-year-old hockey player I played with. I can tell you probably the best, 16, 17, 18-year-old I played with, because those kids work hard and they're active, and they continue to improve over the years.
Hey, Susie, before you, I know you had another question, Susie. Before you ask it, I just wanted to add one thing to that. The Friday night shared ice model that we have, it's a little longer ice session. So during the season, if we feel like some full ice practice is necessary to work on some full ice stuff, there's the option to throw in one team on full ice for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And then that's what that model on Friday night allows us to do if we need it. Not often, because as Jamie said, full ice with 10U is really tough sometimes to maximize quality and value. So yeah. You had another question?
Is there any position-based practice, or is it all just like the small group skill session kind of thing that we were discussing
Yeah, so most of it is small area, but those groups can be grouped by position for sure. We always throw in, our defensemen are working on something in this group, or our centermen are working on something in this group, or this station is specifically for defensemen working on bringing the puck off the wall or getting pucks through traffic, and this station is for our wingers working on picking the puck off the wall or doing cycle drills. So yeah, you break the ice down into areas and absolutely position based for sure.
And if I can add to this, um, yes, is there individual position coaching? Absolutely. We're trying to coach these kids all over the ice. At the U10 level, there's a lot of kids that don't know what position they like or even want or what's best suited for them. 2 years ago, we had, and I will drop names, we had Joe Gary on defense and Andrew Bush on forward. And probably about 2 months into the season, we realized maybe that's not the best thing for them, based on their skill set. Andrew Bush moved to defense. Joe Gary moved to forward. Andrew Bush, not arguably, he was our best defenseman on the 10U team last year. So you back that up a year, he wasn't even playing defense. Joe Gary, solid power forward, if you will, was playing defense. So, we try to watch these kids, look at their skill set, just like USA hockey and in the ADM model. They want kids playing every position possible. You work on the fundamental skills of skating, handling the puck, and then creating an environment where they're making decisions. That's how these kids develop. Kids go back and forth from forward to defense. There is no solid argument for kids to start getting absolute specific positional training at the U10 model, even goalie. And I've said this. I had what I would say a fairly healthy career of playing not only junior hockey, college hockey, but professional hockey. I didn't start playing goalie until Pee-wees. So in U10, I was playing defense. But I learned an appreciation for the game and a development for the game, reading the game, where I then transferred into being a goalie at U12. And I'd say it probably turned out okay in most people's eyes.
Thank you, James. Anything else, Suze?
Maybe, but I'll
these
give
are good-
somebody else a chance.
Oh, these are good questions. I'm sure a lot of people have similar questions. So keep firing. That's why
I feel the same, Susie. For
One
me,
more thing I would like to add about practice is with these station-based practices, we don't have idle kids. So it's not like you've got 10 kids standing in line just waiting to take their turn. We like to keep this fast-paced. Kids that are idling don't behave. It doesn't matter if it's whose kid or how good of a kid they are. If they're sitting there with nothing to do, they misbehave. So we've learned keep them rolling through drills, keep their feet moving, and they're not going to misbehave as much. So it works wonders when and we've got a huge coaching staff. So I mean, there's tons of help, and it helps to give more one-on-one in some situations. But we can do that with several kids at the same time.
Now, what's the goalie situation?
We've actually got a goalie signed up coming to tryouts August 10th. He played Might Select 2 years ago and then took the year off for COVID.
Oh, it was Jax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I imagine, I don't think anyone else is signing up at goal. I'm not sure, but I believe that's our option in net. And we've also got some backup plans too, if that doesn't happen.
Perfect.
Josh or Jamie, can you give us some intel about that first hockey weekend? Like we had the tryouts on the 10th and then the Huntsville's tournament. Can you give us any details for that?
As far as times or
just what does it actually look like? I mean, how many games do you think we're going to play in?
Michael, do you know the number of games? I mean, as Mike alluded to, it's basically a leveling tournament where you'll play a handful of games.
Okay.
I don't know if it's three or four games.
Yeah.
Just
so
to
it's
make
actually,
sure
it's a
that you get
condensed game.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll play, I think 6, maybe 7 condensed games. So they're trying to get everybody against everybody to get the barometer out. So it won't be full games. It's a super cheap weekend. I think it's like $600. So yeah, it's beneficial. We really enjoy going to it.
And that's
Cool.
just to make sure that you end up in a league that is suitable for your kids. What teams do going into it, organizations, teams, they say, hey, we anticipate A or AA. Sometimes people have a higher perception of themselves. Sometimes they have a lower perception of themselves. So what this does, this allows the league to say, hey, here's 5 or 6 teams that were fairly close in results. They're going to be AA. Here's 5 or 6 that are about level. Not everybody can be in first place. We know that, but it'll set you up for at least competitive weekends where you don't have a team saying, hey, we think we're A, and they win every game by 8-10 goals, because that's not fun for really anybody. Well, fun is one thing, development's another. That's not much of a test. It's not going to make everybody better.
So
Okay.
would our teams be different than that? Like Florida, and who else were the other people that we were going to play? Birmingham?
Oh, you mean the other SYTHL teams, Suze?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all SYTHL teams that are coming to that. So all the A, AA, A2, all those squirt teams will be there.
But our league weekends won't change from those ones that you listed?
It may be. There's a chance, but usually the leveling tournament, it not necessarily change the destination, just what team at that destination is slotted at AA, so to speak. I think I butchered that, but you get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Once they decide what division or league, not league, we're in the SYTHL, what league you're in, they say, hey, here's the 5 teams, and then they schedule weekends based on who the opponents are. And it won't change throughout the year. Once after that leveling tournament, it's set, and they set a schedule, and you can plan for it.
But all the SYTHL teams, just real quick, are close. I mean, we're not going to be driving down to, up to Chicago or over to Pensacola, Florida, or anything like that. We're in that footprint. Misty, I didn't realize you were in the waiting room, so I just let you in as the meeting was ending. Sorry. Are you there? No. I appreciate you sitting in the waiting room this whole time, but thankfully we recorded the video. So if you have any questions, we're in the Q&A stage of our call, Misty. She probably left.
Is this the part
She's
of,
on
is this the
mute.
part of Zoom? Is this the part of Zoom where we say, are you on mute? Are you on mute?
She is
You
on
were
mute.
fashionably late. It's not my fault, Misty. You were late.
Take her off mute.
She's not.
I'm up.
Oh,
Misty?
now she's back on mute. Mike, if you don't want her to talk, just tell her.
I was trying to mute Jamie and it didn't work, and now I can't get Misty to talk.
Here you go. I'll mute myself.
Misty. Okay, we got 10 minutes left in our meeting.
She still has like a little microphone with a line through
Yeah,
it.
I see it, and I clicked the ask to unmute button here, and it's not working. Misty, call me. I'm sorry. So if there's any other questions, guys, again, this whole thing is recorded, and I will send it out to the email list that everyone was on. And if there are further questions, happy to spend some time talking through this with you. So thanks again for everybody for the time, and we'll see you around the rink.
Michael, I'll just add again to echo what you said. If you or anybody you know has questions about really anything that has to do with 10U hockey, I know, Michael, you've said you're there for conversation. Being in my second year, not only coaching it, but having a 2011 U10, just get my number from Mikey. I gladly give you my perspective and opinions on stuff. Information is key, and everybody's got a different perspective. So again, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the meeting.
See you guys.